Good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to the corner of Jackie Robinson and Blackwell, downtown Durham, North Carolina, for Game 4 of our 6-game series between the Durham Bulls and the Memphis Redbirds. And welcome, everybody. Patrick Keenis alongside former New York Yankees outfielder Scott Pose, Rusty Helser, producer and engineer of Bulls baseball tonight. And Scott, I don't know how tonight's game could possibly top what we saw, the chaos over the last 90 minutes of last night's ball game, won by the Bulls in 11 innings, 10-9. 2 position players pitched for the Bulls, 1 earned a win, and somehow the Bulls got out of there with a 10-9 win. Welcome back.
Well, thanks for welcoming me back. I'm thrilled to be back, and sorry I missed last night's game. A huge win for the Bulls as they were able to pull it out under adverse circumstances. And I think, according to Michael Johns, a way to top it is a 2.5-hour game where Nathan Wiles goes deep into the game. Maybe even a complete game would be welcome for him. But the Bulls pitching staff got the job done under adverse conditions. Even the position players stepped in to help. But the real story was this lineup. They continue to hit. They continue to be resilient. And can that offense continue tonight? It's going to be fun to watch.
All right, so it is Nathan Wiles on the hill for Durham. Began the year at AA, got to Durham early in April, sent back to Montgomery for about a month, and then rejoined the Bulls permanently in the second week of June. He has not lost a game with the Bulls. 4 wins, no losses, 504 earned run average. And when the Bulls have needed that anchor, when they've needed that stopper, a starting pitcher to provide length when they had no arms available in the pen, it's been Wiles, and he's come through. He did it in his last outing when the Bulls were in Nashville, when a career-long 7 innings en route to a victory over the Sounds. So Wiles ready to go. Here's the lineup card signed by Ben Johnson, former Durham Bulls coach. Redbirds enter action tonight, 16-20 in the second half, 6.5 games behind. Richie Palacios at the top of the order. He's in center. Cesar Prieto bats second at second base. And then Mason Wynn, top prospect shortstop for the Cardinals, who missed the first 3 games of the series. Wynn is back in the lineup. He is at shortstop. Ivan Herrera, the catcher. Lucan Baker in the 5-hole. He's the DH. Matt Koperniak in right. And the game's first pitch, a swing and a fastball, a foul out of play, and we're underway. Moises Gomez will bat 7th for Memphis. He plays left. Nick Dunn at third. And Yuniel Caracudo slugged the big grand slam last night for Memphis in their rally. Caracudo bats 9th and plays first. 1-strike breaking ball from Wiles is low. Now Wiles is built like an oak tree. Out of the same forest as Lucan Baker, although Baker a little bit larger, but Wiles is a very solid 6'4". And the 1-1 on the way is down on Palacios. 84 degrees. There's some overcast skies. There's some sun breaking through off of left field. Calm winds and a nice Friday night crowd expected tonight. So here's the 2-1 pitch from Wiles, and he misses wide ball 3. So we will have the challenge system tonight, ABS, the first 3 days of the series. So both teams have 3 challenges. Only the pitcher, catcher, and batter can ask for them. David Arrieta, the crew chief, is calling the balls and strikes tonight. And the 3-1 pitch from Wiles is hit sharply to second base and just past the dive of Durham second baseman Vidal Brujan. Single laced into right center opens the game for Palacios in Memphis.
Palacios worked himself into a fastball count and then got one, didn't miss it. This is hard through the middle. Brujan looked like he dove over it just a bit. But Brujan shaded to the pole side, could not get back to his right, and he did dive over that ball. Base runner aboard for the Redbirds early.
So Palacios is on. 14 combined steals this year. 6 with Columbus, 8 here with Memphis. And a hopper up the middle, long hop fielded by Tristan Gray. And a good crisscross maneuver between Gray and Brujan. They do cut down the lead runner. That's not an easy play right there, but the Bulls threaded it perfectly.
And this is a play where discretion is the better part of valor. Just get the 1 out, and then if you get the double play, it's a bonus. But Brujan, realizing he was in an odd spot, just caught the ball, made sure they got the force, and the double play still remains in order, but the Bulls get that out.
All right, so Prieto, the exchange base runner for Memphis, he's at first. And puts that up in mid on his left hand as Mason Wynn stands the batter's box for Memphis and stares at his first pitch of the series. 91-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1. Had a slight injury Sunday in Memphis' final game of their homestand against Jacksonville. And sat out the first 3 games of this series. Tops one down the line, foul, strike 2. But he took infield ground balls a couple of hours ago. Neither team took BP on the field, just in the indoor cages. And Wynn cleared to go. 284, 17 home runs, and 17 steals for this 22-year-old. And the 0-2 from Wiles is poked up the middle. This may get through, and it does. Slowly rolls into center field. Prieto slowed around second. Saw where the ball was in the relation to Cameron Meisner, and then tapped on the gas, and he goes first to third.
Oh, it was great base running by Prieto. He saw that ball, lost some speed once it hit the grass, so he's going to advance to third. Excellent 2-strike hitting by Wynn. Just put the ball in play. He got a slider, got the bat to it, and hits them where they ain't. That ball goes right through the middle. First and third now for Memphis, and the venerable part of their order coming to the plate.
Yeah, Luke and Baker dropped to the 5 slot today for Memphis, so he provides protection behind Ivan Herrera. The right-handed hitting catcher stands in the box. He had last night off, and he takes down and away from Wiles. Wiles 55 innings with the Bulls, 57 hits. He has struck out 42. We'll see his fastball in the 91 to 94 range. Pitches college ball for the Oklahoma Sooners. Here's the 1-0, a swing and a miss by Herrera. Herrera 301 with 8 home runs. He's knocked in 49. And Wiles set. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. Well, 24 hours, give or take, after last night's crazy Bulls win, I still don't know how it happened. Because the odds were stacked against the Bulls once Memphis took the lead on the grand slam from Karakudo. That pitch bounces in. Excellent stop there by Nick Dini. Boy, tell you what, that pitcher's got some good catching skills for the Bulls.
Yes, he does.
Earned the win last night, Nick Dini. And now flashing what got him to the big leagues, which is his defense. 3 balls and 1 strike now on Herrera. Bulls infield, double play depth. Herrera a candidate if Wiles can get him to roll over one. And that pitch low and away, and it's a walk to Herrera. And this is now big first inning trouble for Nathan Wiles, because here comes Luke and Baker. Out of the same forest in terms of humanity with he and Nathan Wiles, but Baker 94 runs batted in, 32 home runs. He's averaging .335, and this is the last spot, Scott, you want to see him bat with the bases loaded. And the pitch from Wiles. Oh, huge empty swing on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
And what the Bulls have tried to do is crowd Luke and Baker, get that ball underneath his hands. That was excellent placement on that fastball by Wiles.
Quickly home, 0-1, fouled back. And he jumps on top of Baker. 10 seconds into the at-bat, it's 0-2. So Baker steps toward the inside corner with that big back foot. Opens up the stance a bit. And the 0-2, a swinging out well struck ball down the left field line. If it's fair, it's for Love. It is fair. And Baker does what Baker does. 33rd for Luke and Baker. 98 runs batted in as he hammers an 0-2 pitch from Nathan Wiles and kept that one straight right down the line.
Nathan Wiles tried to go back in and tie up Luke and Baker, but Baker pulls his hands inside, gets a piece of this, and enough to keep it fair. Crooked number immediately for Memphis.
Well, Wiles was attacking him from the first pitch of that AB. Here's a swing and a 2-hopper to second base. Bruhan in the right field grass makes the stop to retire Koperniak. But there was no waste there by Nathan Wiles. He tried to put him away on 3 pitches. And Luke and Baker, I mean, he had 3 walloping swings in that at-bat against Wiles and connected.
And for the second night in a row, the Redbirds hit a grand slam.
Yeah, Karakudo last night. Luke and Baker tonight. 4-0 Memphis. And now Moises Gomez. Fastball just off the corner, ball 1. Gomez starting in left field tonight. Saw him as a pinch runner last night, late in the game. Averaging .226, and the former Ray farmhand swings over that slider from Nathan Wiles. So base hit, a walk, another hit, and then the grand slam by Baker. Empty cuts by Gomez, 1-2. Four nothing Memphis, top of the first. Time called by Gomez. Durham Bulls in the Bull Shark uniforms tonight. White pants, light blue tops, custom-made caps, and the 1-2 cut and a miss. Gomez chases wide, and the first inning is done. But 4-run score for Memphis on the one swing from Luke and Baker. Underway, and the Bulls in an early hole. Memphis 4, Durham coming up. Memphis on top of the Bulls, 4-0 as we play the bottom of the first inning. And Adam Kloffenstein takes the mound. Just his second start in the Cardinals organization. He was acquired from the Blue Jays a little more than a week ago. And we'll see the other piece of that deal for the Cardinals start tomorrow. Sam Robertson, he will go tomorrow. They were both acquired by the Cardinals in exchange for Jordan Hicks, who went to Toronto right at the deadline. So Kloffenstein, 5 innings, 1 run in his AAA debut. That came with Memphis on Friday of last week against Jacksonville, and spent the rest of the year at AA New Hampshire in the Blue Jays organization. It's 5-5 with a 3.24. And the right-hander fires home, a swing and a foul at home plate by Vito Brujan. Kloffenstein will see 94-97 from the right side. 22 years of age, out of Magnolia, Texas. And the 0-2 pitch on the way to Brujan. Fights off a fastball. Still 0-2. Kloffenstein at AA, 105 strikeouts in his 89 innings for New Hampshire. Walked 34. Surrendered just 79 hits. And the righties pitch a little bit high on Brujan. Here's the lineup card signed by Michael Johns, manager of the Bulls. Game and a half out of the lead as action starts tonight. Brujan is second. Raimel Tapia bats second and plays left field. Then Jonathan Aranda at first. Here's the 1-2, a swing and a miss, and down goes Brujan.
That's a back foot slider. This ball starts in where Klopfenstein was throwing that fastball, but this one dives underneath the bat of Brujan. Klopfenstein gets the strikeout.
So now it's Tapia for the Bulls. Rest of the Durham lineup looks like this. Austin Shenton, who has homered in 3 straight games, cleans up and plays third. Ruben Cardenas, the DH. Tristan Gray, the team's home run leader with 22, including one last night. Gray at shorts. Tapia shows bunt, draws back, takes strike one. Cameron Meisner in center. He's in the 7 slot. Nick Deeney catches. Diego Infante starts in right and bats ninth. And Kloffenstein on 0-1. And Tapia gets his lower legs out of the way of that tight pitch. Ball to strike on Tapia, just signed by the Rays a couple of weeks ago. And again, fastball at the back foot there. And it's 2-1 on Tapia. But Kloffenstein moving Tapia around in the batter's box his last couple of pitches.
He's really trying to establish that inside part of the plate, isn't he, to these lefties?
And now the 2-1. Tapia swinging, hopper goes foul, first base grass. Tapia last night had a key hit in the late game rally for the Bulls. He was 2 out of 6. Drove in a run in that 11th inning and a swing and a miss, and Tapia down on strikes. Back-to-back punch-outs. That time on the changeup from Kloffenstein.
That ball had some depth to it. It was the first time that Tapia had seen it. He tries to get a piece of it, but cannot. Second strikeout, second out of the game for Kloffenstein.
And here comes Aranda. Left-handed heavy lineup today for the Bulls. See, 6 of the first 7 bat from the left side. Strike one on Aranda. Aranda averaging .333, which is number 5 in the league. And the 0-1, and Arana gets spun around in the batter's box. And you are right.
This is getting interesting.
This is a fearless start for Kloffenstein. I mean, these are 93 to 95 mile an hour sinkers at the shoulders and at the shins. And that pitch is down. Around a 3 of 5 last night. 76 runs batted in for Arana, 20 home runs. And Kloffenstein's 2-1, and he hits the outside corner with a backdoor slider. Two and two, Arana calls time. Four nothing Memphis in the bottom of the first. And Kloffenstein into the wide, and the pitch up and away, full counts. Three and two, Kloffenstein's pitch. And Arana takes a little high, and he is on with a 2-out walk. Well, if we've learned anything from Kloffenstein so far, he's very assertive with his stuff. I mean, he is not leasing the inside corner. He's owning the inside part of the plate.
Well, he's sending that message, and it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds during the game. I've had some pitchers that I played with that would take notice immediately, and turnabout would be fair play.
Yeah. And now Shenton takes a breaking ball at his knees. First four in the order are all left-handed or left-handed capable for the Bulls, with Bruhan being the switch hitter. Shenton, 3 home runs in the last 3 games of this series against Memphis. 7 since his call-up from Double-A. And that is up and away. Shenton, 24 games, 27 runs batted in with the Bulls. And he has been a huge bolster to this Durham offense with the injury to Kyle Mansaro, who's now been traded to Cleveland, and the trade of Ben Gamble to San Diego. Shenton takes down 2-1. He's played primarily first base, couple of games at third, which is where he is tonight. He told me on the flight to St. Paul, or just after he joined the team, that he was even going to get a little time in left field, but we've yet to see it. And now Kloffenstein to the back of the mound. A little reset. Outfield deep and the other way on Shenton. Kloffenstein's 2-1, and that is off the inside corner. And now a 3-1 count. Walked 3 in his debut with Memphis on Friday in 5 innings. 34 walks in his 89 Double-A innings. Small lead by Arana with 2 outs. And the 3-1 pitch. Shenton takes a breaking ball on the inside corner, a slider. Full count with Cardenas next. So Shenton calls time. Once again, Kloffenstein to the back of the mound, wipes a little sweat away. Arana stretching out his legs over at first base, held on by Caracudo. And the 3-2 pitch, a swing by Shenton. It's a fly ball slicing down the left field line. That will tail out of play. And Arana was halfway to third, will cut across the infield. And again, Kloffenstein to the back of the mound. Well, Kloffenstein may like to own the inside part of the plate, but he's also never still on the mound. I mean, in between every pitch, he's digging at the underside of his spikes. He's going off the mound in the grass. Shenton waits on another 3-2, but before a pickoff throw on Arana. Caracudo and Arana go way back. Caracudo and his Rays organization time. Now playing first base with Jonathan Arana standing there. Kloffenstein home on 3-2, and Shenton strikes out, a slider down. And Kloffenstein fans the side with a 2-out walk in the mix. Underway, we're done with 1 in Durham. Memphis an early 4-0 lead. Grand slam by Lucan Baker has Memphis leading Durham 4-0 after one. And it's going to be Nick Dunn to start the second against Nathan Wiles. Starts him off with the first pitch strike. Grand slam by Lucan Baker in the top of the first. And then Kloffenstein punches out three in the bottom half. So Memphis has wiped away the disappointment of the 11-inning loss clearly. Here's a ground ball pulled into right field, a base hit for Dunn. And he has been just impossible for the Bulls to retire for whatever reason in this series. Dunn is still hitting well over 420 in his time at AAA. And he is now 8 out of 12 in this series against the Bulls. So Dunn singles to begin the second inning. Now Karakudo hit the grand slam against Trevor Brigden last night. That looked like it might be the game winner for Memphis. Swings first pitch this time and lobs one toward Tristan Gray. He's waving everybody off on a couple of steps in the outfield grass. Karakudo out number one. And it's interesting if you were following along or watching last night's game or following game day as Scott Pose was doing as he was driving the speed limit back home from Charlotte last night.
Correctly stated.
We heard from Michael Johns, the pregame show, that after that grand slam hit by Karakudo, knowing that the Bulls just had Roberto Alvarez and maybe Nick Dini left to pitch as the Bulls were out of pitching. I've never heard a manager in a pregame show use the word punt. But he said at that stage with Memphis leading 6-4 after the grand slam, he said we basically were punting the game, meaning raising the white flag. Not that he didn't have faith in his offense to come back and rally, but when you have no pitching, you have no pitch. Ground ball to second, sharply hit. Brujan makes the stop, feeds Gray, and doubles up Palacios on the throw. And a very brief appearance by Nathan Wiles in the top of the second. A hit, a double play, and nobody left. We're done with 1.5. Memphis 4, Durham nothing. Four nothing lead for the Memphis Redbirds. We play the bottom of the second inning. Ruben Cardenas begins to frame for the Bulls and takes ball one from Adam Kloffenstein. Cardenas 258, 19 home runs for the Bulls. He takes upstairs. He came on as a pinch hitter in that game-winning rally in the bottom of the 11th last night. Both he and Vidal Brujan drew walks against Roycroft to really build that bottom of the 11th. Gets jammed here. Soft two-hopper wide of third. Nick Dunn makes the throw and retires Cardenas. That was a sinker right on the thumbs on a 2-0 pitch from Kloffenstein. A well-executed pitch.
Well, we've seen that Kloffenstein can establish the inside part of the plate against the lefties. He does so here with the righty and runs that sinker underneath. He's got his good stuff and has been on his game early here in this one.
All right, here's Tristan Gray, batting 6th in the order today for the Bulls, and Gray, a lefty, takes a little wide. Defensively behind Kloffenstein, Gomez, Palacios, and Kopernik in the outfield. Dunn, Wynn, Prieto, Karakudo around the infield. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Herrera, the catcher. David Arrieta, our home plate umpire. He's the crew chief. Matt Brown down at first. Trevor Daniger is at third. 1-1 to Gray, high. Well, Scott, you've been on the losing end of a lot of tough games over your career, and momentum or lack thereof only lasts as long as the next day's starting pitcher. And Memphis seems to have cleansed the palate. Got the big swing by Lucan Baker, and Kloffenstein in pretty good early form tonight. 3-1 now on Gray. And the delivery from the right-hander is up, and Gray tosses the bat away. And if there's any early alarm bells ringing for Kloffenstein, last 4 batters, some long counts. 3 of the 4 have been 3-ball counts, fell behind Cardenas.
And he's been finishing off the Bulls hitters with that slider, and he's been trying to throw that in fastball counts. It's been successful so far, but command is starting to be a concern, and if the Bulls hitters can continue to make these adjustments, this game's going to get interesting.
Yeah. All right, so here comes Cameron Meisner for the Bulls. Home plate umpire David Arrieta kind of admonishing Kloffenstein, saying that I think the home plate umpire felt like Kloffenstein was preparing to make a pitch before Meisner was ready in the box, and There's some jawing going on with Kloffenstein, the plate umpire, and Herrera has picked it up. They didn't call a violation. And now ready to go. Meisner stands in, hitting .219. And he looks at a breaking ball on the outside third, strike one.
Is that admonishment for an attempted quick pitch? Is that what you're thinking?
I've seen that a few times this year. I mean, the home plate umpire will get out, and if it feels like the pitcher is trying to make a delivery before the batter is ready, he'll point to basically his eyes and then the pitcher's eyes and say, watch me, I'll let you know when you're allowed to go. Outside on Meisner, 1-1. Which seems to be the antithesis of why we have the pitch clock. Ball and a strike on Meisner. Gray at first. And Kloffenstein's delivery nicks the outside corner, strike two. Four nothing Memphis in the bottom of the second. And Meisner holds off of that pitch down and away. Herrera now gestures to Kloffenstein to kind of just settle down. And again to the back of the mound goes Kloffenstein.
That spike cleaner's getting a workout, isn't it, with Kloffenstein out there?
When they drag the infield after the third inning, they might have to replace that contraption in the back of the mound. Here's the 2-2. Hit sharply by the mound to second base. Prieto fields. Soft little toss to Wynn. And Wynn has the rocket arm, and that beats Meisner with ease. And the inning ends. 4-6-3 double play. Done with two in Durham. Memphis leads the Bulls 4-0. Top of the third from Durham. 4-0 lead for the Memphis Redbirds. Patrick Keenis and Scott Poe is with you tonight. Cesar Prieto will open things up for Memphis. And Nathan Wiles' opening pitch, strike one. Prieto, Wynn, and Herrera for the Redbirds here in the third. Nathan Wiles, just 5 pitches to get through that second inning. And Prieto takes a little down, 1-1. The 1-1 on the way, bounces in from Wiles. 2 balls and 1 strike. Look in from Wiles, now the delivery, and Prieto is swinging a miss, 2-2. Prieto's had a nice series, couple of home runs against the Bulls. Saw him in Norfolk before the trade over to the Cardinals a couple of weeks ago. Here's the 2-2 now from Wiles. Ripped on a line into right field, and Prieto was on. Scooped up and fired toward the infield by Infante, and Prieto a clean single to begin the third inning.
Shortstop, number 5, Lisa Quinn.
So now here is Mason Wynn. It takes a lot to get him out of the lineup. Wynn has played in 100 games for Memphis, but he missed the first 3 games of this series. And Wynn takes strike one from Nathan Wiles. He's 22 years of age, out of Texas. And with one of the strongest throwing arms you'll find in any infield anywhere. 2 balls, or probably a 2-strike count now on Wynn. It has held out conservatively over the last couple of days to make sure that he's fine after he awkwardly landed on a bag at home against Jacksonville on Sundays. Wynn takes high, 1-2. Prieto at first, nobody out. And the 1-2 pitch on the way to Wynn. A strike, a wave on a pitch outside. Wiles strikes out Mason Wynn.
A good slider from Nathan Wiles gets Wynn to expand a bit. This ball started on the outside part of the plate and then just dives down and away. A good put-away pitch for the Bulls right-hander. And now he's a pitch away from getting out of this inning if he can roll that double play.
And he doesn't want to face the guy on deck again with anybody on. Luke and Baker's out there again. Herrera in the box, walked ahead of that grand slam, and he smokes one out to left field. This is toward the bull, and that is off of the bull. A home run for Ivan Herrera. No stake for you, but a 6-run lead for Memphis. He hit the snorting bull right in the ribeye. 9th from Herrera. A 6-run lead for Memphis.
You mentioned in the first inning protection. This is the definition of protection. You know Lucan Baker is in the on-deck circle, so Wiles is going to go right after Herrera. He's hitting fastball, gets it, does not miss it. Puts a bruise on the bull and the Bulls. They now lead by 6 to the Redbirds.
51 RBIs now for Herrera, and here's Lucan Baker. Strike one on the inside corner. I mean, that was a missile. Pitch from Wiles, cuts and a miss by Baker, strike 2. 13 home runs off of Wiles in his 58 innings. And again, this is a night where the Bulls need some length out of him as this ball's sailed to the right side, leaving the dirt and onto the grass as Vito Bruja makes the catch near the line. Baker retired. 2 away for Capernaum. Now we are likely to see a brand newcomer to the Durham Bulls a little bit later on in this ballgame. Victor Castaneda, 24-year-old right-hander who was acquired by the Tampa Bay Rays last year in a deal that involved Javi Guerra. Castaneda had been to the rookie-level complex in Sarasota for the Rays, was scheduled to throw 3 innings in a game today down there, but with the Bulls being so shorthanded throughout the contest last night, he was flown here, and we will see him throw 2 to 3 tonight behind Wiles. Strike 1 on Koperniak. Michael John saying before the game, Bulls are still quite thin in their pen. Pitch bounces in from Wiles, 1-1. Two outs, nobody on. 6-0 deficit facing the Bulls. And the 1-1. Had him reaching for it. Koperniak swings and misses. So this takes the opposite shape of last night. Bulls still very short-handed. And a lot of the burden on Nathan Wiles, but the Bulls are not going to be playing with a 4-run lead as they did last night in the 4th inning. They're down by 6 and also a short-handed. And that's not the combination that Michael Johns was hoping to see tonight. 2-2 on Koperniak. And the pitch from Nathan Wiles slightly wide. Target by Daney, 3-2 pitch off the outer corner, and Koperniak walks. Second from Wiles, and that'll bring up Moises Gomez with 2 outs. This is a tough Memphis lineup to navigate. Breaking pitch hung, and it's lifted down the left field line. A little bit of hook to it, and that will hit off the monster foul. Strike 1, more off the end of the bat from Gomez. Well, Michael Johns was talking earlier in the series, the first couple of games. Bulls issued 7 walks in Tuesday's opener, 4 of them scored. Wednesday night, 6 walks and 2 batters were hit. Of those 8 base runners, 5 scored. And we're talking about, the runners put on ahead of big home runs. And that is what has led the Memphis Redbirds to put up some big numbers against the Bulls so far in this series. Swing and a miss, and Wiles strikes out Gomez, and that will retire the side. Couple of runs for Memphis on the home run by Herrera. After 2.5, Redbirds 6, Bulls nothing. Two swings have led to 6 Memphis runs in this ballgame. Grand slam by Lucan Baker in the first, and then Ivan Herrera 2-run shots against Nathan Wiles in the top of the 3rd. So a 6-0 deficit facing the Bulls as Deeney leads off the third for Durham. Adam Kloffenstein so far has not yet allowed a hit. Deeney takes down ball one. Well, there are many things from last night's game, Scott, I won't forget. One of them, actually several, involved Nick Deeney. He sprays one to center field, hustling back Palacios, and as he moves on to the track, he reaches and makes the grab on a well-struck ball to center by Deeney.
Right fielder, number 29, Diego Monte.
This is the first hard contact the Bulls have had off Kloffenstein. Deeney gives it a ride, had some backspin, but a nice play by Palacios and a great route as he runs back and makes the catch look easy.
They're one away now for Infante. There's the wide and Kloffenstein's delivery, a chopper off the plate, foul, strike one.
You were saying?
Yeah, I was saying about Deeney. Obviously, the way the game played out over the last 2 or 3 innings of that game, very memorable. But Deeney faced Luken Baker in that 11th inning. And Luken Baker, the minor league leader in home runs, with now 33 after the grand slam tonight. And two things about that at bat struck me as Infante jumps back out of the way. Number one, Deeney induced a pop out by Baker on a 48-mile-an-hour pitch. But if you go back and watch it, when Deeney made the pitch to Luken Baker, and who wouldn't do this, as this ball sailed to shallow right, Koperniak on the way in got a late break and does make the catch to retire Infante. But who wouldn't do this? And this is something you do see kind of in church league, where you make the pitch, and if there's a big, huge cleanup hitter up, you back up and you almost sprint back off of the mound to get out of the way and create a little more space. Deeney did the same thing last night. Made the pitch and then is like scattered, because the last thing he wanted off of a 48-mile-an-hour pitch was a line drive back at the mound somehow. 2 outs and nobody on in the third. And again, who wouldn't do that? Self-preservation. Pitch on Brujan, cuts outside. Brujan struck out to begin the Bulls first. And the 2-0 from Kloffenstein. Outside, ball 3. We'll see how the Bulls fare second time through the order against Kloffenstein. Back to the spike cleaner again. And the 3-0 from the right-hander, and that's on the inside corner. Brujan tried to sell that as ball 4, which on a Tuesday through Thursday wouldn't matter at all, but clearly Brujan knows what day it is. Here's the 3-1. And that sinker a little down. We will get our first challenge of the game, though, from Ivan Herrera. This looked pretty good to me. Brujan didn't move leaving the batter's box. I think he feels like this is going to be overturned as well. And it is. So a correct challenge by Herrera and Memphis. It's now a full count. Six nothing Memphis, bottom 3. Kloffenstein's 3-2. That is low, and it is ball 4. And Herrera even nods in agreement with that borderline call. So Brujan does draw a 2-out walk. So that'll bring up Raimel Tapia. 6-0 Memphis in the bottom of the third. It's got, if you're taking the hitting approach for the Bulls, seeing Kloffenstein for the first time, long counts first time through the order, but no hits. What's the adjustment you look for these lefties to make?
I look for them to look for a fastball in. And if you get it, square it up, but try to stay in the middle of the field so you stay on it. And then see where things fall.
Brujan at first base, inching away to a big lead. But again, the Bulls trail by 6. Here's a swinging tapper up the first baseline foul. Loved by Karakudo. Bulls a game and a half out. Memphis 6.5 back. Kind of right at that midway mark of the second half tonight and tomorrow. And stepping off, Kloffenstein, and back to that spike cleaner again. He's been on top of that cleaner about 10 times tonight. A 1 count on Tapia. Brujan bluffs. The pitch is missed, and it gets through the catcher, Herrera. And now Brujan trots down to second. That was an empty cut by Tapia, but the pitch not handled by Herrera. So the Bulls have their first base runner in scoring position tonight. It'll be a pass ball charge against Herrera. Kloffenstein ready on 0-2. Check a Brujan at second base. And Tapia knocks one over the screen into the crowd behind the Bulls dugout. Tapia stands in, waggling the bat Kloffenstein's way. Target away from Herrera, and a ground ball pulled through the grass to second base. Easy play for Prieto. And Tapia thrown out, and that will do it for the Bulls in the third inning. No runs, no hits, so walk and Brujan stranded. Done with 3. All Memphis so far, 6-0 Redbirds. Bulls and Redbirds now ready for the top of the 4th inning. 6-0 lead for Memphis. Grand slam by Luke and Baker. And a 2-run shot by Ivan Herrera in the third. And the first pitch from Nathan Wiles hit on the ground to Brujan. Stops on his right knee at second base to throw out Nick Dunn. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. And I tell you what, it is my absolute honor to bring in a special guest who I've seen from a distance a whole lot over the last few years, but meeting you for the first time in person. It is Olympic silver medalist and NCAA champion Claire Curzan from Cary, North Carolina. How are you, Claire?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having me on, Patrick.
It's awesome to finally meet you. Now, I need to ask you because I've seen several first pitches made by Olympic swimmers. Ryan Held a few years ago,
Yes.
Elizabeth Beisel in Indianapolis several years ago. I missed your first pitch. I know you threw
no.
it. How did it go?
I think it went pretty well. I think I could have used a little more practice, but I'm proud. I mean, I'm a swimmer, not a pitcher, so I think I fared pretty well.
Did you do some practicing beforehand?
A little bit with my dad. I made him sore, so that's a good sign.
All right, well, Claire is going to be with us here for the next 5 or 10 minutes if she has enough time, as Nathan Wiles quickly shoots down Karakudo for 2 quick outs in the 4th inning. 6-0 in favor of Memphis. Well, first off, introduce yourself to our Bulls fans who maybe haven't followed the unbelievable junior swimming career that you've had, record-setting, not just American records, world junior records shattered by you when you're 15, 16 years old,
Yes.
through the NCAAs, through Tokyo and the Olympics a couple of years ago, to now a very bright future over the next 12 and 24 months.
Yeah, so I started my swimming journey kind of internationally, well, more regionally and nationally at 12. I made my first junior world team at 15 and was able to represent the United States at the Olympics when I was 17. So it's kind of been a wild ride. I've taken me to Australia and also to Budapest. So I've loved every second of it. Looking forward to going to Virginia next year.
So that's a good transition because you grew up in Cary, went to Cardinal Gibbons, went out to Palo Alto for the unbelievable Stanford program.
Yes.
And now you just announced a couple of weeks ago you're transferring to swim for Todd DeSorbo and the Walsh sisters and the, 2-time defending national champion Virginia Cavaliers.
Yes, I am. I'm so excited. Moving up there in about a week, so it's kind of coming fast and furious, but I can't wait.
And I guess my next question for you is the 1-2 pitch is punched to first, knocked down off the backhand of Arana. He will collect and take it to the bag for the 3rd out. Do you have another couple of minutes?
Yeah, of course.
I have a lot of questions for you.
Of course.
All right, a 1-2-3 4th inning for Nathan Wiles. Done with 3.5 here in Durham. Memphis leads the Bulls 6-0. Back to the deep after the bottom of the 4th inning. Memphis on top of the Bulls by a 6-0 score. Patrick Keenis, Scott Pose, and Olympic silver medalist Claire Curzan, NCAA champion, and now a special guest here in the booth and a good friend as of 5 minutes ago. First up, Claire, we are getting into your upcoming change in your collegiate career. You're going to UVA. My first question for you is, Jonathan Arana leads off the 4th inning for the Bulls and takes strike 1. We're going into now the Olympic year in 2024, and a lot of the elite swimmers around the country redshirt that year to prep for the Olympics. Is that something that you are considering doing? Have you decided, or will you be swimming for UVA while you get ready for Paris, which would be awfully tough to do?
So because I transferred late in the transfer portal for swimming, it's a bit tricky. I won't be competing for UVA, but I will be taking classes in the fall.
Okay. Do you think any less of me if I tell you that I didn't learn how to swim until you'd already set your first world junior record?
Not at all. I just have to teach you sometime.
I nearly drowned a couple of times as a kid and didn't learn until I was 15 or 16. All right, so let's talk about what led to, was it just homesickness coming from Stanford back to UVA? Obviously, both programs are elite around the country in women's swimming and diving.
Yeah, so I actually unfortunately came down with something pretty bad before our last World Trials. So I think just getting sick and being out there, it felt pretty far away from home. So I'm a homebody, so I just wanted to something for next year for the Olympics, just to be close to home and be able to get back whenever I wanted.
So with all the great successes you've had already in your careers, Aranda smokes a ball high and far left center field. This is carrying to the monster, and it is gone. Jonathan Aranda knocks out his 21st home run, and the Bulls are on the board trailing 6-1.
Well, Aranda was trying to square up his pitch. He got it. Shows his power the other way. This is the Bulls' first hit and a big one. He puts the Bulls on the board. And now the Bulls can start their comeback.
Well, we've seen the at-bats improve second time through the order against Kloffenstein, who again did not allow a hit to the Bulls through the first 3 innings, but Aranda drives that one over the left center field wall, and it makes it a 6-1 ball game. And that will bring up Austin Shenton here for the Bulls. Kloffenstein struck him out in the first inning. And the right-hander's first pitch on Shenton is a high slider for ball 1. So for somebody who's had as much success as you have, how hard was it to watch all of your teammates, your college teammates, your Olympic teammates in Fukuoka just a couple of weeks ago, knowing that you could not be there with them?
It was hard being at home, but they did a great job. I was super proud of all of them. And honestly, it gave me a lot of time off, which I needed after a long, very, very activity-filled freshman year. So it was good to be at home, be able to make that decision with my family and a bunch of support systems. So it was good, but I definitely missed them.
Yeah, now, not knowing much about your sport and what it's like to be an elite swimming athlete before I went to Rio in 2016, and Derek kind of ran me through the ropes about what the dedication commitment's like. Can you educate our fans here in 30 seconds about just what a daily schedule looks like for the elite of the elite swimmers around the world? Because it's a schedule that I think nobody can appreciate until they have a sense of what it encompasses.
Yeah, so it's about a 25-hour week in total. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we normally do doubles, so that's a 2-hour swim in the morning and a 2-hour swim at night, and then we also lift for an hour right after one of those.
But I mean, you're up at 4 in the morning practicing, or are you up earlier than that?
Actually, I've been lucky so far. I haven't had to get up, but I have heard some horror stories of getting up at like 4:30.
3-2 pitch, a called strike on Shenton, and he fans looking for the first out of this fourth. And Scott, I know you want to pepper Claire with a number of questions, right?
Well, I have one question in particular with these latest developments with what's happening with realignment, because an adverse event of this realignment is it's hitting in the cradle of where the Olympic sports development typically is, which is in the Pac-12.
Right.
Did that factor into your decision at all, or does that just happen to be coincidence? And how do you feel about all this alignment and how it affects Olympic sports?
I think it's a huge detriment to Olympic sports. I actually had made the decision before all of this had come out. Obviously, before my freshman year, 2 schools had left the Pac-12, so I knew that, but all of that's going on right now is news to me. So I think it definitely hurts Olympic sports, but hopefully the Pac-12 can get back up on their feet.
Have you had a lot of conversations with your other friends and competitors in what remains of the Pac-12 about what is going to happen to Stanford, what is going to happen to Cal and the other 2 teams that remain? But those are the two trailblazers in the Pac-12 as far as programs are concerned.
I haven't had a lot of conversations with my teammates yet, but I know that Greg, Coach Greg, the head coach of Stanford, and Coach Durden, the head coach of Cal, they're well-versed in all of this, so I think they'll do a good job whatever they decide.
Can you explain to our fans, when you went to Tokyo, you were 17? You're 17 years old. I mean, most of us, when we're 17, we're going out on first dates. We're trying to learn how to drive a car and not, run through our garage and our driveways. And you're in Tokyo in the Olympics. The experience, and not just the Olympics, but it was an Olympics that was unlike any other because parents couldn't go, fans couldn't be there. It was a different experience. You had to almost generate your own Olympic movement. We'll pause here as we get a strikeout to close out the end. Do you have one more half inning with us?
Of course.
Okay, all right. We'll be back with a little bit more with Claire Curzan when we return. Run for the Bulls and a home run by Arana. And after 4, it's Memphis 6, Durham 1. Bulls trail Memphis 6-1 as we start the top of the 5th inning. Cesar Prieto will begin the frame. Nathan Wiles still out there for the Bulls. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Memphis. Prieto 1 of 2 tonight. He scored a couple of runs. And Wiles' opening pitch is off the outside corner for ball 1. We're winding things down with Claire Curzan, Olympic swimmer from Cary. And her father is with her. Who did you bring to the ballpark tonight?
I actually brought my whole family and a couple friends.
And you also brought another friend that you're holding in your hands right here. What is that?
My Olympic silver medal.
So there's a tradition that I have of people who come in the booth, the Olympians who come in the booth with medals. Do you mind if we get a picture before you leave as you wear that? What was the presentation like? Tell me about the race because you were in prelims for the medley relay?
Yes.
Okay, and again, inform our fans about what stroke you swam in that race and with whom, your teammates.
Yeah, so I was on the prelims relay. I swam butterfly. So it was Ryan White for backstroke, Lily King for breaststroke, me for butterfly, and I believe Erica Brown for freestyle. So it was a great group. It was very fun. We had a lot of fun in the ready room together.
And you're so versatile in the pool. I don't even know what your best stroke is. Long course versus short course, world championships versus Olympics. What do you think your best stroke is moving on in your future?
That's a good question. I like a lot of different events, so I kind of don't want to pinhole myself, but lately my 200 back has been very good. It's kind of long, and there's no relay spots, which I love, but it is a very fun event for me.
And pretty fun in Knoxville it was a few months ago, right? National champion in that event. 6-1 the lead for the Memphis Redbirds in the top of the 5th inning. Runner at first with nobody out. And Wiles comes home on 0-2. And a breaking ball looped off the end of the bat. That's going to fall in center field for Mason Wynn. Prieto will shut it down at second base. And more trouble for Wiles. The first 2 are on with nobody out in the 5th.
Wynn has a great approach. He stays in the middle of the field, and he does so here. This wasn't hit incredibly hard, but when you try to stay in between 10 and 2, it gives yourself a margin of error as a hitter. He used it, and he continues the rally for the Redbirds.
Well, that'll bring up the catcher, Ivan Herrera, with nobody out. 6-1 Memphis leading in the 5th inning. All right, so for a lot of your fans, and you're such a role model, as all of USA Swimming is, because the fans that follow your sport are as dedicated as they are for any sport. I found that out over the last 7 years. There's such a great appreciation. What is it like for you now as a still very young college student to have that extra burden and responsibility?
Honestly, it's been a lot of fun. I didn't think that I would have this kind of reach, but I've loved just being able to do different things and meet people. So I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought of myself as a role model like that, but it's cool to think that I could be.
Pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Who were your role models as swimmers or athletes growing up?
Missy Franklin and Kayla Decky were 2 big ones. I think I watched Missy Franklin's movie like a million times in the car on the ride to swim meets. So.
Bouncy ball toward third. This could be 2. Shenton throws it over Bruhan into right. No out there, and coming down the line is Prieto to score. Wynn takes third, and that looked like a sure double play, especially with Herrera, the hitter, on the way to first base. Instead, no outs, and it's 7-1.
Shenton doesn't get on top of this ball. He gets underneath it with his elbow. That causes it to sail up and away. Bruhan cannot make the adjustment with a runner bearing down on him. The ball ends up in right field and extends the inning. What should have been a double play now turns into a potential rally and a dangerous one with 2 runners on and this man coming to the plate.
And this man is Lucan Baker. Leads the minor leagues in home runs with 33. And he comes up with first and third and nobody out. And a ball outside from Nathan Wiles. No action yet in the Durham pen, but that's likely to change here very soon. And the 1-0 pitch from Wiles, breaking ball low, 2-0. Do you remember what it was like the first time you met Missy?
Yes, I went to one of her swim camps and I got to hold her gold medal.
And what was that experience like for you?
It was awesome.
Did it
I
add
loved
to the
every step.
motivation?
Oh, yeah. I have a picture with it still.
Here's the bounce ball on 2 ups to short. Backhand great to Bruhan for 1. And that double play will be turned as Mason Wynn scores. No RBI for Baker. It's now 8-1 Memphis.
Well turned by the Bulls here as Gray stays back on it nicely. An easy feed to Bruhan. The double play completed, but the damage is done. Wynn scores. And Memphis tacks on more to their lead.
All right, 2 outs and nobody on. That'll bring up Koperniak for Memphis. And Nathan Wiles winds up. First pitch on the way is outside for ball 1. When I was coming back from the Special Olympics World Games broadcast in Berlin in June, I was working swimming with Rowdy Gaines, Victoria Arlen. Rowdy actually had his gold medal from the LA Games in 1984.
Really?
Because he was going straight to Indianapolis for an event there. Fly ball out to center field. Meisner will make the catch. That will retire the side. Memphis tacks on a couple of runs. Claire, we have more than taken too much of your time. It's time for you to relax, grab a hot dog, enjoy the rest of your game with your family. Can't thank you enough for stopping by and finally having a chance to meet your greatness. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, a couple of runs in the top of the 5th for the Memphis Redbirds. We will head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Memphis leading Durham 8-1. Back to the D-bat for the bottom of the 5th inning. 8-1 in favor of Memphis. It'll be Meisner, Dini, and Infante for the Bulls against Memphis starter Adam Kloffenstein, making his second starts in the Cardinals organization. And right now trying to qualify for what would be win number 1. He's only allowed 1 hit, the home run to Aranda in the bottom of the 4th. That is it. And there's a line drive off the bat of Meisner into right center. Across now, diving Palacios. He hangs on. Richie Palacios has made 2 outstanding plays in center. A perfect route to the ball hit the deep center by Dini earlier in the game. And here a top spin, little sinker into right center field, and runs it down for a basket catch.
Well, tremendous route and a great play by Palacios as he gets underneath this one just in time to get the glove there to make the play. Tough break for Cameron Meisner, but you got to give credit where credit's due. A fine play by the Memphis center fielder.
And here is Dini, takes a sinker on the outside for strike 1. Well, great thanks to Claire Curzan for stopping by. Thanks to our audience for putting up with my geekdom on talking with an Olympic swimmer anytime they come here in the booth. That is a 1 and 1A for Bulls baseball and the chat, so thanks for her time. And look for her in a little less than a year in Paris. The 2024 Olympics are on the way. Ball and 2 strikes on Nick Dini. There's no action behind Wiles right now for the Bulls. He's thrown 73 pitches in 5 innings. But again, as thin as the Bulls are in the pen, looks like Michael Johns is going to ask Wiles for 1 more inning regardless of the 8 runs the Memphis has scored. There's a shot by Dini. That's in left center. Falls for a hit. Palacios rounds it off and will hold Dini to a single. Boy, he has good instincts out in center field.
Well, he cuts that ball off, but Dini's seeing the ball really well against Kloffenstein. He smoked the ball in his first at-bat that Palacio runs down, but Dini stays in the middle and has a line drive now to go for that single.
Second Bulls hit, and now it's Infante. Popped out to right his first time up. First pitch, swing and a miss.
But you mentioned the pitching plan. Michael John says regardless of how this game works out, he's got to stretch out Nathan Wiles to get inning coverage for the entire game. And whatever happens is a bonus, but the facts are the facts.
1 strike pitch, backhanded by Herrera. Yeah, when the game began, Michael Johns was hoping to get 6 out of Wiles, and then the newcomer, Victor Castaneda, who just joined the team earlier today from Sarasota, Florida, He said he was going to pitch 3 innings. So there's a way right now for Michael Johns to get through this game, get through the 9 innings in a perfect world by just using those 2 arms, irrespective of the score.
And it's a soft landing spot for Castaneda.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already down. Just keep it here and give it a chance and get some work in, and he's going to get that opportunity.
So a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Infante. Bulls trying to bite into this deficit. A high, long bouncer past third, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both of those runs in the top of the 5th unearned for Nathan Wiles. And Infante fights one off. Soft liner to second. Prieto makes the catch, and Nick Deeney just gets back to the bag in time. So Infante lines out. Top of the order with 2 down for Vidal Brujan. Good base running by Deeney, now to get doubled up. Brujan has walked and struck out tonight. Swings first pitch, pulls one down the right side. Long run, Koperniak. The ball lands fair. Great jump by Deeney off on 2-out contact, but he will be held at third by Michael Johns. Koperniak got to that quickly in the corner, and even with Deeney running on 2-out contact, Michael Johns had to hold him up.
And with a deficit to where it is, you're not going to take any chances, and you're going to have to hit yourself back into this game. Meaning you have to get multiple hits. This is a good swing by Brujan. It lands just inside the line. A good play by Koperniak to get that ball in. Runners at second and third. Keep the line moving for the next guy.
And that'll bring up Tapia for the Bulls. Well, if you chip away here, and the pitch count for Kloffenstein now reaches 80. He's gone 100 exactly twice this year. So maybe one more inning out of him, but if the Bulls can, again, get into the Memphis bullpen, they were pretty thin last night as well. We saw a couple of guys throw back-to-back days. Roach came in and threw for the 2nd day in a row. The Bulls have seen Roycroft twice in 3 games this series. Ben Johnson did ask me how my arm was feeling today, just in case they needed to add somebody to a 1-day contract. Ball 1 outside.
Well, the base hit makes things interesting right here. Brujan with excellent speed is going to be off on contact. He'll score with 2 outs. Bulls would like nothing better.
Tapia 0 for 2, left-handed hitter. A base hit means 2 for the Bulls, and Kloffenstein tried for the outside corner and missed. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Off speed wide, ball 3. Right-hander just beginning to throw for Memphis in the pen. Ryan Ludus, the right-hander in the pen for Memphis. Here's the 3-0, and that's high. The bases are loaded for Durham, for the man who homered his last time up. And Jonathan Arana can hit the Bulls right back into this game with 1 swing against Kloffenstein. And we'll get a mound visit by Darwin Marrero to buy some time for Ludus. So it's an 8-1 game, and the Bulls have the bases loaded with 2 outs. And as Darwin Marrero, this is interesting, as he was coming out of the dugout for Memphis, crossed the first base line, there was a kind of a cheat sheet that I think fell out of Tapia's back pocket. It's one of those cards that the outfielders have that tells them, based on who the hitter is, where they're playing, how many steps over toward an alley. And Darwin Marrero, the pitching coach for Memphis, saw it on the ground in the baseline, pointed it to the umpire, and the umpire then picked it up and handed it to the bat boy for Durham. So there will be no espionage here tonight for the
I would have liked it
Redbirds.
better had he picked it up and put it in his pocket for later. But he said there's some litter on the field. Could we please get this picked up?
That's good sportsmanship.
It was.
So the bases are loaded. Kloffenstein to the back of the hill, wipes off a little more sweat. And the fans beginning to get engaged for the first time tonight. Bulls trail 8-1. But they have the bases loaded for the best hitter in the organization. Opening pitch to Aranda. On the outside corner with a breaking ball. Aranda walked in the first, homered to left center in the fourth. Kloffenstein on 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Now, of any batter in this Bulls lineup, counts are basically irrelevant to Jonathan Aranda. And his same comfortable, confident approach. Open stance, left-handed hitter. And the 1-1 was right on the fastball, fouled it away. And Kloffenstein one more time to the spike scraper on the back of the mound. Dini, Bruhan, top of the base runners. Shortstop Wynn plays Aranda up the middle, and now Jonathan will take time. And Kloffenstein will walk about 5 feet behind the mound. Palacios, couple of steps toward left center. Aranda looking for the big hit to get the Bulls back in the game. The pitch. Bounced in, kicks away, down the line comes Dini. No throw.
This is great base running by Nick Dini. As a catcher, he knows how tough this play is. And he saw the separation, this ball getting away from Herrera. He was off immediately. And that's what made the play. Outstanding base running by the Bulls catcher.
And that was a short hop that kicked off of the right side of the chest protector of Herrera. And yeah, Dini broke hard, and he had to. Because Herrera got the ball, thought about making a last-second throw to Kloffenstein covering, decided against it, then looked to see where the other base runners were. He was trying to maybe backpick somebody else trying to advance. And he held on to it. It's now an 8-2 ball game. Bruhan and Tapia are in scoring position. And it is now a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Aranda. Kloffenstein's pitch. Aranda lifts one softly. Third base dirt area. Dunn is called off by the shortstop Wynn. And the catch is made to win the inning. So 1 run out of a major 2-out threat for the Bulls. After 5, Memphis leads Durham 8-2. Durham Bulls baseball brought to you by our friends at nearly new thrift shop on Hillsborough Road, where your donations help them meet their charitable purpose of giving away one item to someone in need for every item that they sell. It's open 7 days a week from 10 until 6. Patrick Keenis, Scott Pose back with you as we move to the 6th inning. Bulls trail 8-2. And Nathan Wiles still on, starting tonight for the Bulls. This will very likely be his last full inning. 73 pitches through 5, 8 runs, 6 earned, but you kind of knew coming in that regardless of the stat line, that Wiles was going to be used as far as he could go in a game like this to help preserve a very decimated Durham bullpen. Gomez is fanned twice and takes that pitch that spiked in the ground by Nathan Wiles. 1-1. 7, 8, and 9 for Memphis. Begins with Moises Gomez. And the 1-1. Off speed high. Action continues for Memphis. Kloffenstein is likely done. A couple of runs over 5 innings of work. Pitch from Wiles is looped out of play to the right. No sign yet of Castaneda in the Durham bullpen. And the pitch from Wiles, lifted by Gomez out into left. Moving toward the warning track, now coming in. A step is Tapia for the grab. First out of the 6th inning.
Third baseman, number 21, Nick Dunn.
Well, just a couple of mistakes for Wiles tonight. Cost him 6. The grand slam to Baker in the first. Herrera a 2-run homer in the third. The other 2 runs were unearned because of his infield defense on Shenton's throw. I mean, we've seen Nathan Wiles much better than he has been tonight, but it has not been really a sustained attack against him over 5+. A 1 pitch from Wiles. Weak ground ball to first base in between Hopper Ronda. Underhand flip to Wiles covering. And the Bulls retire Nick Dunn 3-1.
First baseman, number 28,
So 2 outs, nobody on for Caracuto. And now it does look like Castaneda is about to start throwing for Durham. Caracuto, nothing of 2. And he will swing at a first pitch and sail one into shallow left center. Tristan Gray backing up. A couple of outfielders charging in. Meisner calls him off and makes the grab to conclude a perfect 6th. So Nathan Wiles not in the stat line he wanted to see tonight, but he does give Michael Johns 6 innings. And we'll have some time for the Bulls offense to try and rally and get him off the hook. We're done with 5.5. Memphis leading Durham 8-2. Bottom of the 6th inning, 8-2. Memphis leading the Bulls. First pitch from the reliever Ryan Ludus is bounced to deep first. Caracuto gives up some ground and a solid peg to the pitcher covering to retire Austin Shenton. So Kloffenstein done after 5 innings, 89 pitches, and he is in line for his first Cardinals organizational win. A couple of runs, fan 5, 3 hits and 4 walks. Had a lot of long counts, but did not give in against the Bulls. And departs up by 6. Here is Cardenas. Strike 1 from Ludus. 36th appearance for Ludus, 5.75 ERA. 58 strikeouts and 51+. And Cardenas takes a breaker at the knees, and Cardenas, I thought he was challenging. A little tap of the helmet, but no, just a readjustment. 0-2. Ludus out of Washington University in Missouri, not the University of Washington, the other one. 0-2 counts on Cardenas. And the pitch from Ludus, a breaking ball fouled off the foot of Cardenas. Washington U is known for its academic prowess. That is a tough school to get into.
It's like Arkansas.
1A. Two strike counts in the pitch. Cardenas got a fastball in, flings it out of play. That joke never gets old, does it?
It's not a joke.
Well, depends on perspective, Scott.
I'm offended that you think that's a joke.
0-2 pitch. Hit foul again by Cardenas. Eight to 2 Redbirds in the bottom of the 6th. Game 5 of the series comes up tomorrow night at 6:35. They pitch a little wide on Cardenas. And the pitch from Ludus strikes him out looking. Ran a four-seamer in on the corner. 2 outs in the 6th.
And Cardenas knew it. He was looking out over the plate. Instead was frozen inside. Couldn't pull the trigger. Vapor locked. And is the second out of the inning.
So here's Tristan Gray. He's walked in fan tonight. His team leading 22nd home run last night for Durham. And Ludus drops in a breaker, strike one. A 1. Cuts and a miss by Gray, strike two. You are literally cleaning the counter right now, Scott.
I got some ink everywhere, so I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't be a hazard to anybody else.
Gray last year led AAA in home runs with 33. That pitch bounces in and I think deflected right off the face mask of Herrera. Gray hit his 100th career minor league home run last night. 101 if you include his grand slam against, was it Reno last year?
It was, and it was kind of a big hit.
Yeah. In the AAA National Championship game. Plate umpire David Arrieta just checking on Herrera. That ball did bounce up and hit him squarely in the old-fashioned mask. Ball and 2 strikes on Gray. Base is empty and 2 outs. And Ludus misses wide with a fastball. Bulls right now are TBD tomorrow. Anthony Molina is scheduled to go on Sunday in the series finale. 2-2 curve is low. Full count on Gray. Cameron Meisner next. And the delivery from Ludus locks up Gray inside corner. Called strike 3, but Gray is challenging. So the Diamond Cutters will head back to the Memphis dugout. They're ready with their cap on and their orange shoes on, and they take their hand rakes and go back down the dugout steps. It is ball 4 to Tristan Gray. So Gray correct on the challenge, and he's on with 2 outs. So that'll bring up Meisner. So a false starts on part of the Bulls dance team. They were 2 steps up. I mean, they're ready to put on their show.
Well, yeah, they were anticipating, and it looked to be, from our angle, it was an acceptable call. But Tristan Gray uses the challenge judiciously. The Bulls maintain all 3 of theirs. He's aboarded and extends the inning.
Let's see if that draws the Bulls closer. Here's Meisner. Fouls off the fastball, strike 1. Well, they can go back in the tunnel and get one more rep in. Work on their dance numbers, the choreography. Pitch to Meisner, lined out to left center. Palacios giving chase, and he'll track that ball down and continue sprinting in. I mean, he has not stopped sprinting yet. Now he slows down, takes away a potential extra base hit from Cam and Meisner. Now crew, the grounds crew dance team. Well, head of the 7th inning, Memphis leading Durham 8-2. 7th inning from Durham. Memphis on top of the Bulls 8-2. Scored 4 runs in the first on 1 swing from Luke and Baker, and they have not looked back. So Nathan Wiles is done after his 6 innings, and now we will see Victor Castaneda make his Bulls debut. Just joined the team officially earlier today. And again, he'd been working out at the rookie complex for the Tampa Bay Rays down in Sarasota, as they were sharing that complex with the Baltimore Orioles after the hurricane devastated Port Charlotte a couple of springs ago. And the opening pitch is upstairs, ball 1 on Palacios. Now Castaneda, native of Mexico, 24 years old. Got to AAA Nashville in the Brewers organization last year. Started there a couple of years ago. Pop foul out of play left side. And it is 1-1 on Palacios. So it's Palacios, Prieto, and Wynn.
Well, the ask here from Michael Johns is get through this order one time and just eat these innings up to give the beleaguered bullpen arrest.
There's the 1-1. Off speed, works back to the inside corner, strike 2. And Michael Johns, as we get a challenge here by Memphis on that changeup that came back to the edge, called a strike and is a strike, so a lost challenge for Memphis, courtesy of Palacios. But when I asked Michael Johns before the game, when he told me there was the addition of Castaneda, I said, what do you know about him? Is this one's grounded out to second base, step to the right to Brujan, and we'll throw out Palacios. And he said, he's one of the guys who I really don't know much about. I mean, new to the organization. Came as a player to be named later in the Javi Guerra deal involving the Brewers and the Rays. But he was working himself back into shape down in Florida. And Michael Johns, who was the field coordinator for the last half a dozen years for the Rays organization, didn't know much other than a couple of reports he had been told pending Castaneda's arrival. But cutter, sinker in the 91-94 range. Listed at 6'1", slender build, and misses with a changeup up and away against Prieto. Memphis leading Durham 8-2 in the 7th inning. And the 1-1. That's outside, ball 2. So Wiles worked 6 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, fan 4, walked 3. And Castaneda's 2-1, high and wide, ball 3 on Prieto.
I have a question for you. You said listed height-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Are you allowed to round up in height? And hear me out. Hear me out.
What, from 6'7" to 7 foot?
No, but what if you're 5'10" and a half?
3-1, lifted down the right field line softly, and that will land in foul territory, full counts. I mean, it's not the NFL Combine.
Well, but I'm saying, can you call yourself 5'11" if you're 5'10" and a half?
I'd say probably for any athlete, yes. I think you want to be
any athlete. I'm 6 foot and I'm 20 pounds heavier.
3-2 shot out the middle. Gray had him played there. Nice backhand left of the bag to throw out Prieto. 2 outs. I mean, the only industry I can imagine if you're an athlete where maybe you don't want to be the extra inch, you'd rather be one smaller, is a jockey.
Right.
But I think in any other sport, whether it's golf, tennis, football, basketball, if they can list you as 6'11" when you're 6'10" or 6'9".
So are you suggesting that there may be some inflationary statistics on a roster of any athletic team?
Well, sure. How many players are on the team? Strike 1, pass Mason, win. Now, I don't know if things have changed. I'm sure they probably have. But when I first broke into broadcasting, and again, breaking in at low A in the Midwest League, in Clinton, Iowa, for all of you who are following along. Wind takes through the dirt. But there you're dealing with 18-year-olds, maybe college juniors if they come out of the draft and get assigned right to your team. But for the most part, you're dealing with guys who are in their first full season of pro ball. And whether you're talking about a kid from Ankeny, Iowa, or a kid from Santo Domingo of the Dominican Republic, as this pitch is fouled down the line by Wynn, whenever you were signed was the height and weight on the roster, whether it was last month or 3 years ago.
Same for me.
Yeah,
I was 165 pounds all the way through my 14 years of playing.
I mean, that you're right. That would not change year over year. Bouncy ball, stumbling out of the boxes, Win. Shenson charges from third and throws him out. And I think that little stumble cost Win an infield single there. Could have beaten that one out. But as it turns out, it's a 1-2-3 7th inning in the first inning of the debut of Victor Castaneda. Stretch time from Durham, 8-2 Memphis. Bulls baseball brought to you by Emerge Ortho, team physicians for the Bulls since 1980. 15 orthopedic urgent cares all around the triangle. You can self-schedule your own appointment right now or reserve your urgent care spot online. Do that at emergeortho.com. Ludus for his second inning behind Kloffenstein. Memphis leads Durham 8-2. And Nick Deeney, who's had a nice game at the plate for the Bulls, leads off. Follows in 95 for strike 1. Deeney, Infante, and Brujan. And a hard ground ball down to third, gobbled up by Dunn. Throw a bit high, but it sails down to Karakudo. 1 out in the 7th inning.
Right fielder, number 29, Diego Infante.
So now Infante for the Bulls. Just 3 hits in the game for Durham. They had 13 last night in that 11-inning win. Infante hitless in 2 ABs. Goes after a fastball and drives it straight back. Strike 1. .635 tomorrow for Game 5, and then we wrap up Sunday at 5:05 as Infante parries one away down the right side. Strike 2. But then the back half of the homestand starts next Tuesday. Gwinnett into town for the next 6. And then the Bulls head to Harbor Park and take on the Tides. Strike 3 swinging. Infante cuts after a hard breaking ball from Ludis that was down. It's been an impressive secondary pitch from Ludis tonight.
He's got great depth on that breaking ball, and it's been his out pitch. Was here. Infante swings right over the top.
And that's not flowing in at 78 or 79 miles an hour. That's low to mid-80s.
Yeah, and late break as well.
2 outs now at Brujan. 8-2 Memphis. Brujan's been on a couple of times tonight. Looks at ball 1 a little wide. One 0 to Brujan, too high. And the 2-0. Fouled back by Brujan. So you can look for and expect Castaneda to clean this one all the way up for Durham. Perfect 7th inning on 14 pitches. Again, the expectation was for him to throw 3 tonight. Brujan takes strike 2. And again, the reason for the thinness here for the Bulls is Vidal Brujan is now challenging this call. It was called a strike. And Brujan is correct. It was a little wide. So the Bulls 2 for 2 on challenges tonight. Yeah, put this in a bottle. So it's 3-1. Tapia next. And the pitch from Ludis. That's on the inside corner. Brujan not going to challenge that one. It crossed his mind. Full count. And the payoff. Fouled straight down in the batter's box. But clearly the injury to Shane McClanahan that will now very likely cost him the rest of the year for the Rays. And then the issue involving Tyler Glasnow, which now it sounds like he will start on Monday for the Rays. Some other injuries, guys going up, guys coming down, and the Bulls, as a result, very short-handed. Line drive laced into left center. Base hit Brujan. Palacio is able to stop that ball and just toss it quickly after he gloved it up to limit Brujan to a single. That is a really adroit move by a center fielder there, because that should have been 2 for Vidal Brujan against about anybody else.
Well, he gets this in quickly and throws on the run. It's not recommended, but he does it effectively as that ball was right on the line. And Brujan, much like a third base coach, is looking to see if that ball's coming in quickly. And Palacios gets the job done and shuts him down, keeps him at first.
And you say not wisely, right? What do you expect on that play from him?
Well, I expect him to plant and throw. Mm-hmm. If you're throwing on the run like that and it's like a 3-point shot, no, yes, it was good. But if it's offline because you're throwing on the run, that's when you're going to have a talk from a coach.
So here's Tapia with Brujan at first, 2 outs. And Brujan, a hard bluff, shuts it down as Tapia takes strike 1. But I think if you're Vidal Brujan, if there's a plant by Palacios there, I think Brujan's trying for second base. I mean, if he takes that extra step and a little time to plant his foot and throw towards second.
I will disagree with you.
You don't think he was going?
No, I don't think so. If there's a plant, you got a chance to throw that ball on the line. It's still going to shut him down.
0-1, swing and a miss. Well, if that's the first time we disagree on the air in 11 years, we're doing all right.
It's not the first time,
I
but
still
nonetheless.
I still love you.
Yeah, same here.
That might be an overstatement.
Okay, but I get it. But I'm saying you could see the disaster there. If I'm throwing on the run, next thing you know, that ball's on the infield. He's walking into second, maybe more.
Here's the 0-2, bounces in. Bare hand quickly by Herrera.
Palacios
strikes.
has made some great plays tonight. Yeah. Outstanding plays. Showed his range, and he showed it again.
8-2 the lead for the Memphis Redbirds. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Brujan on with his second hit. Down by 6, unlikely to be going anywhere here. But he breaks anyway. The pitch is stroked to first, goes off the glove of Caracudo, rolls behind him, slides into it, has no play. Tapia is on, and Aranda is going to bat with a couple of runners on and 2 outs in the 7th.
Speed sets this up because Brujan's on the move. That creates a little bit of discombobulation on the infield. This ball hammered by Tapia. It's at Caracudo, and it hops over his glove. Once that happens, there's so much speed on the bases, both from Brujan and Tapia. Everybody's safe. It extends the inning and brings the Bulls' most consistent hitter to the plate.
It's one of those plays where if Caracudo makes it cleanly, it's an out. If he doesn't get a glove on that at all, that's a run. But split the difference. Base hit on the infield. Now Aranda, who hit his 21st home run, came in the 4th inning tonight against Kloffenstein. And here the Bulls are again. They have not had many chances with guys in scoring position. But if you get a big hit, even just a double here from Aranda, the Bulls are right back in it. 2 outs, 2 on. And Aranda looks at a ball, and Herrera is going to challenge. Memphis has 2 remaining. Pitch was called a ball. And David Arrieta is incorrect again. So that call will be overturned. And it's a 1-1 count. And Memphis maintains 2 challenges left. Ludas on 1-1. Hard ground ball to second base. On a knee. Prieto makes the stop. Takes a lot of time before he makes the throw to Caracudo, and that will close down the inning. Durham doesn't score. Couple of hits with 2 outs, but 2 left. After 7 innings, 8-2 Memphis. Donate to TROSA, an award-winning nonprofit treatment program empowering individuals with substance use disorders to change their lives. 8th inning from Durham. It's an 8-2 Memphis lead. Redbirds have led since the top of the 1st inning. The grand slam from Luke Baker. Baker has driven in 9 runs in the first 4 games of this series. He will bat second in this inning. Ivan Herrera will lead off. Castaneda is back in for his 2nd inning. Herrera hit the other Memphis home run in this game, a 2-run shot against Wiles in the 3rd. The new right-hander for the Bulls delivers home, high and tight, and a back pedal out of the box by Herrera. And Herrera, a couple of words with Nick Deaney as he re-enters the right-handed box. Deaney still looking at him. Now the 1-0. Breaking ball down, 2-0. Upstairs on Herrera, ball 3. And the 3-0. And that's a 4-pitch walk to Ivan Herrera. 3rd time he's been on tonight. Leadoff base runner for Memphis in the 8th.
Designated hitter for Holy War, Luke Baker.
Action in the bullpen for Memphis behind Ludas. Looks like Guillermo Zuniga. And a fastball punctures the outside corner on Baker. Strike 1. Change up, strike two. Sorry, I'm distracted. I hear a squeaky toy, like a dog squeak. It was barking at the park last night. I wonder if somebody left a toy behind. I hear that sound in the house a lot. Here's the 0-2. Off speed works back in off of the corner. Ball one. Aranda holds Herrera at first base. Nobody out. And Baker strikes out swinging. Big uppercut swing by Baker on that pitch. Castaneda fans his first.
Well, good job of execution by Castaneda. This is a pitch that's up. It's out over the plate, but late life on it. Gets it by the league's most powerful hitter. Well done.
All right, so here is Koperniak, left-handed hitter. Off speed, low, ball one. Talked about this briefly the other day in the series opener with Casey Lawrence starting for Memphis, Division III college pitcher. We've seen a lot of those with the Cardinals organization. Koperniak is one. Ludis is another. Koperniak played at Trinity College in Connecticut for 4 years. Josh Fleming, who was on a big league rehab, he played at Webster University in Missouri, another D3 school. Pitch on Koperniak, liner right to first, glove by Arana, and puts the glove on the bag to double up Herrera. Tailor-made, and it is over. Memphis does not score in the 8th. We'll head to the bottom half. Bulls trail Memphis 8-2. Durham Bulls baseball brought to you by Couch Oil and the Couch Oil Cares College Scholarship. In conjunction with the Bulls, year number 9. 6 $1,000 scholarships awarded earlier in this season, a little more than a month ago, to 6 recent high school grads around Central North Carolina. So thanks to Steve Couch, president and owner of Couch Oil, the committee, and all of the students for applying, and congratulations to the 6 winners. It is Guillermo Zuniga, native of Cartagena, Colombia, checking in for Memphis in the bottom of the 8th inning. 27th appearance for Zuniga, first in the series against the Bulls. But he is a flame-throwing righty. 30 strikeouts in 25 2/3, but he's walked 19. And an earned run average at this late stage of the year over 8. But a soft landing spot for him as he has a 6-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a first pitch slider low on Austin Shenson. 8-2 Memphis. Shenson nothing of 3 and misses a changeup, 1-1. 4 in the first for Memphis on the Baker grand slam. 2 in the third when Herrera went deep with a man on. Bulls got on the board on Aranda's home run in the last of the 4th as Shenson takes down. 8 runs, 7 hits for Memphis. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Bulls. And the 2-1, low again on Shenson, ball 3. Well, much like the look of this Memphis lineup, what the Bulls kind of feared of a couple of days ago is getting through the lineup, even with a lead in the late innings, as Shenson takes inside. If you start putting guys on ahead of this very deep Durham lineup, a 6-run lead can evaporate fast. Leadoff walk starts the 8th for Durham.
And that's been Zuniga's downfall, is you can't argue with the velocity, but the question is command and location. And the Bulls will let him just go right on if he is off to continue to miss the zone.
Cardenas, the hitter, tries to build this inning out for the Bulls and misses a slider, strike 1. And Zuniga initially signed about 8 years ago. He's 24 now, so when he was 16, signed with Atlanta, then spent some time in the Dodgers organization, and then came to the Cardinals during the offseason. 0-1, right by him, 97 plus. No major league time as of yet for Zuniga, who is on the 40-man for the Cardinals. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball backed up and hit foul. I take it back. Zuniga did make his major league debut earlier this year, back in May. 1 game for St. Louis. Two strike counts on Cardenas. And the pitch from Zuniga strikes him out. Shoulder slump. Good slider there from Zuniga, and Cardenas out number 1 in the 8th.
Here's the danger with velocity. As a hitter, you have to respect it. You know you have to get out front, so you're geared up for that fastball. And then when a good breaking ball comes, it shows that you're vulnerable to that. A good put-away pitch for Zuniga.
Tristan Gray, the hitter, couple of walks tonight, 0 for 1. And there's a wild one right off the brakes, but deflects through the midpoint of the first base line, and that gives Austin Shenton plenty of time to advance. One ball counts on Gray. Zuniga to the plates, around the outside corner, 2-0. Memphis with an 8-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. And the pitch, low ball 3. Would imagine this would be a full take by Gray. 3-0. He does take. It's on the inner black. Strike 1. Gray was about ready to discard the bat, but saves the challenge. Still in firm control of the counts. Bulls have 3 challengers left. And the 3-1. And that is on the outside corner. Now a full count. Shenton out at second base as Zuniga is ready to go. Here's the 3-2, and he strikes out Gray. How about that? I wonder how many times he's done that this year, from 3-0 to a punch out. And Gray down on strikes.
Oh, Gray gearing up for the fastball on 3-2. Instead, he gets that slider. It's down. Arm speed's the same. He swings over the top.
2 gone in the 8th. Leaves it up to Meisner with the Bulls trailing 8-2. First pitch from Zuniga, and Meisner breezes right past that. I think was a slider at 90. Not a lot of guys have those. A 1. Oh, knocks Meisner down. Fired that directly at his back ankle. Slow to get up. Used the bat as a little crutch. Home plate umpire went out there and stood in front of home plate for a couple of seconds.
Well, this has been consistent tonight. We've seen Kloffenstein and every one of these pitchers try to command the inside part of the plate against these Bulls left-handed hitters.
So it's 1-1. Here's the pitch to Meisner. A shot off of the glove of Zuniga, deflects it into short right center. This will get a run in. Shenton scores. Meisner drives him home, and it's 8-3 in the last of the 8th.
This ball's a rope off the bat. I mean, that had some velocity to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what the calculation is, as that ball was squared up perfectly by Meisner. Zuniga's lucky he got out of the way of that. It scrapes off his glove. It goes through the middle. Drives a run in for the Bulls.
And if you're Meisner saying, hey, you throw one at 96 at my kneecap, how about this 104-mile-an-hour line drive at your glove? Meisner now breaks for second. The pitch is taken. The throw is going to get there late. Meisner a steal of second. And the Bulls, another runner in scoring position, try to creep a little bit closer.
I'm really liking the fire that I'm seeing from Meisner. I love the fact that he comes back and hits one hard back through the middle after getting the tower buzzed, and then he takes off.
Swing by Deeney. Well hit ball left center field. This is toward the monster, and it is in play. Extra bases Deeney. Meisner scores. 8-4, just like that. And Deeney's big night swinging the stick continues.
Well, this is large because now the Bulls are within one swing of the bat should they put a rally together. But this team has no quit in it. We've seen it a number of times this year. They might not win every game, but they're going to give themselves a chance. This is a slider that hangs. Deeney's geared for the fastball. It speeds up his bat. He catches it out front. Nearly comes away with a home run. But it's a run-scoring double. The Bulls are within 4.
Yeah, that came down a couple of feet below the yellow line, just past the right edge of the blue monster where the wall shrinks down. 32 feet to about, 8? 8 at the mound ends. And now Infante, the number 9 hitter for the Bulls. And what a big run this would be to pick up also with 2 outs. Zuniga fires home, and Infante right through 97. Memphis 8, Durham 4. And the pitch downstairs, 1-1. And there's nobody behind Zuniga right now. And again, Memphis was also very short in their bullpen last night. Deeney at second, 1-1 pitch. Soft bouncer off the plate, foul, strike 2. Memphis 8, Durham 4, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Deeney out at second base, an RBI double. Zuniga home high. Head nod from his catcher, Herrera. Would imagine that's a show-me pitch up and in. Get ready for the cutter slider down and away. 2-2. Just off the outside corner, ball 3. Brujan next, if Infante can reach. And if he does, the stress of this inning really gets ratcheted up.
Well, and now I remember Zuniga and Brujan have history. If you remember, it was a heated at bat like this. 3-2 count. Brujan fouled the ball off Zuniga, got excited, and was demonstrative coming off the field.
And there's strike 3, though, taken by Infante. He's going to challenge. Herrera's already run into the dugout for Memphis. He's that confident this will be strike 3. And he is correct. Inning is over. And Herrera's already down the steps. Bulls scratch across a couple of runs in the bottom of the 8th against Zuniga and get to within 4. So the 9th we go. It's 8-4 Memphis. Well, 3 unanswered runs by the Bulls to trim 8-1 to 8-4 as we start the top of the 9th inning. Castaneda will get his 3rd and final inning of this ball game against the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Memphis Redbirds. Bulls baseball brought to you by our friends at Chiesi, and they'll make a $10 donation for every strikeout recorded by the Bulls pitching staff to the Interfaith Food Shuttle. So Gomez begins the 9th. He's 0 for 3. Struck out twice against Wiles and misses a breaking ball from Castaneda. Fireworks after tonight's game, fireworks after tomorrow. And then kids run the bases following Sunday's 5:05 game. 0-2 as Gomez swings over the top of another breaker there from Castaneda. Oh, 2 from the Bulls right-hander outside a slider. Now, no action behind Zuniga for Memphis. So Ben Johnson still feeling somewhat comfortable with a 4-run lead. Zuniga will get a shot at the ninth. Fastball upstairs. Two. Makes it 3-2. Back to the slider, low and away. Nick Dunn on deck, and then we will see Karakudo. And the 3-2 ran it in on the handle. It's popped out of play. Look back by Castaneda. Now the 3-2. And he loses Gomez to begin the ninth inning. Got him down 0-2 quickly. Walks the leadoff hitter. And now it's Nick Dunn.
Third baseman, number 21, Nick Dunn.
First place Lehigh Valley leading at Rochester in the eighth inning 6-1. Second place Worcester is about to split a doubleheader with Buffalo. The Bulls were a game and a half behind Lehigh Valley. Could fall 2.5 back if they don't rally. Strike one against Dunn. Castaneda's 0-1. Cuts wide. In case you're wondering and have a friendly wager with your spouse or brother about how many wins the Charlotte Knights will get in the second half, and you have over double digits, you're not there yet. Pop up the other way. Gray into the left field grass, and he pockets that one. Dunn retired.
Their fortunes haven't gotten any better since they've departed.
So tonight marks just about, I mean, we play 75 games and a half, so this is game 37 for the Bulls, game 37 for Charlotte. They are 6-30 going into tonight. 6-30, so we're almost at that halfway mark of this second half. They have 6 wins. Strike one swinging on Karakudo. And Charlotte losing again tonight to Gwinnett. I mean, at that rate, they're going to wind up with 12 wins the entire half. I mean, I don't know what the all-time worst record is for a team in a half. And again, for AAA, we've never done it until this year, but at the lower levels, A-ball, AA. Cuts and a miss, off speed. Karakudo down 1-2. I mean, can you imagine any team with fewer than 15 wins? Now, in A-ball, AA play 70-game halves. They surely can't win 15 or 14 games this half, can they? Ball and 2 strikes. Castaneda's pitch strikes out Karakudo. And on the pitch up and out of the zone. Second strikeout for Castaneda. 2 gone. In the top of the order for Palacios.
An elevated fastball from Castaneda. Karakudo could not lay off. And if he can get this last out, Castaneda does an excellent job of getting through this order and keeping the deficit where it is, but more importantly, saving that bullpen.
Yeah, again, this is not just saving the bullpen for tomorrow for Durham. I mean, the Rays are likely going to be making more moves. And Michael Johns knows tomorrow is already going to be a bullpen day for Durham. It's just a matter of who opens. Talked to Andrew Kittredge before the game today. He said he was live today, but they certainly would not be too interested in using him. And now Deeney heads to the mound as the Bulls just now quickly get a right-hander loose in the bullpen. 2 outs in this ninth inning. I mean, with 2 outs in the ninth, down by 4, I mean, the righty in the bullpen could not be getting ready any faster. So Deeney is just stalling as much as he can, and this is not a position player. But this, as you take a look down the bullpen, I mean, that's Cole Sulser. And he was just cleaned on waivers by the Tampa Bay Rays from Arizona a couple of days ago. He's yet to appear in his second stint in the Rays organization. It's really unusual right now with 2 outs in the ninth in the middle of an at-bat to see Cole get up and get this hot this fast in a situation like this. And the pitch from Castaneda fouled off. I mean, only unless they just saw Castaneda drop down and maybe saw something with him.
Well, he got to the 40 pitch mark, and it seemed like they got somebody up and hot in a hurry.
There's the 2-1. Off speed, soft little bouncing ball by the mound. Gray will scoop. He'll throw to first late. That's a base hit on the infield for Palacios. Nothing else Gray could have done.
Softly hit. Gray comes in to field this on the run. He does so, but too much speed from Palacios. We've seen it defensively. Now we see it on the bases.
So that is the first hit allowed by Castaneda. Prieto the hitter, and it looks like Castaneda will get one more batter here. Sulser still working in the pen for Durham. 8-4 Memphis in the ninth, and a swing and a liner to right. Moving back in the ball as Infante does make the catch. And the ninth comes to a close, and Sulser will sit. Excellent work by Castaneda in his Bulls debut. I get a big fist bump from Nick Deeney and a hearty handshake from Michael Johns. Last call for the Bulls. Bottom of the ninth on the way. It is 8-4 Memphis. Bulls baseball brought to you by Campbell University. And if you are a problem solver, you can learn how to stop hackers and secure networks by checking out Campbell's Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity. Accelerated 8-week sessions, convenient course times, give you the flexibility to manage work and family. For details, visit aoe.campbell.edu/Raleigh. Zuniga gets the last of the ninth. It's 8-4 Memphis. He gave up a couple of runs in the bottom of the eighth. Now gets the top of the order for Durham. It starts with Brujan. And the righty's first pitch, slider spins on the inside corner. Kloffenstein in line for his first organizational win. It would also be his first AAA win. 0-1, nubbed away, strike 2. Brujan has been on base 3 times tonight. Single, double, and a walk. Nothing in 2 on Brujan. And Zuniga way wide, missed everything. Again off the bricks. This time it rolls down the first base line of the box. Reynaldo Ruiz will back up like John Elway. Heave it over the screen. Post pattern.
After hitting the bricks at that velocity.
Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch to Brujan. Wide again. 7,774 the paid attendance tonight. Tickets available for tomorrow night's game at DurhamBulls.com. Brujan trying to get something going in the ninth. It's a fly ball with some depth out to left. Gomez going back. Jumps up. It's off his glove. Off the wall and in play. Brujan rounding second. He wants third for some reason. The ball squirts onto the glove of Dunn. The umpire called him out initially, and the ball sprung out of there, luckily for Brujan and the Bulls. That was an unnecessary risk when you're down 4 in the ninth, but Brujan lives to fight another day.
It was a great swing. He got a pitch away, fought it off with 2 strikes. Hits it with some depth. This ball hits off of Gomez's glove, but an unnecessary decision and a base running mistake. Brujan lucky the ball popped out. Looks like he's going to get rewarded with the triple.
Well, I think if the official score, and if you recognize that the third base umpire punched Brujan out when the tag was applied by Dunn, it should be a double and an E5. I mean, he punches. No, I take it back. he saw the ball hit the ground.
Oh, he was showing the ball on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
Is what he was.
But
Okay.
But I think that still should be an E5. I mean, Brujan is dead to rights. So Tapia, the hitter, and he takes low ball one, and that will activate the bullpen for Memphis. Bulls trail 8-4 in the ninth. Tapia, an infield single and a walk in his 4 trips. And he pops one out of play. And he saw that pitch well, and he's looking at that bat. Almost looked like he was trying to take a bite out of it. He would like to see that pitch again. Brujan down at third, pitch to Tapia, a little down. And again, Herrera. I like his actions behind the plate. Very positive with his pitcher, even on near misses. A lot of encouragement. 2-2, low and in. This gets really interesting if Tapia reaches. And you have a pitcher who has a history of control problems. This might be his last batter. And the heart of the order on the way. 3-2, cuts and a miss, and Tapia slams the bat down into the ground after the strikeouts. And that's a big first out for Memphis.
Yeah, 3-2 slider. Tapia is geared up for the fastball. That ball spins down below his bat. He's upset with himself, can't hold up. It's the first out of the inning.
8-4 Redbirds lead. They did score. That is a 3-base hit for Vidal Brujan, by the way. Pitch on Arana, fouled right off the chest of the catcher Herrera. Strike one. Shenton next, then Cardenas. 0-1. Up and away. Around a homer back in the 4th against Kloffenstein. And the 1-1 way wide takes Herrera almost on a little cartwheel to make that stop. Well, I think for Ben Johnson, you don't want to bring in your next arm with the tie and run at the plate. So I think if Arana reaches, Shenton's going to face the righty throw into the pen. Here's the 2-1. Lifted weakly by Arana at center field, shallow. Shortstop Wynn goes all the way out. Palacios calls him off and makes the catch. Brujan, no need to tag. Came a couple of steps down the line and held. 2 outs in the 9th as Arana floats out to center. And now Ben Johnson again still has that cushion. Will likely leave Zuniga in to take on Shenton. Trying to save an arm and close this game out. Memphis on top 8-4 in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Shenton, strike one. Eight, 4 Redbirds. Strike two swinging. Shenton guessing and guessed incorrectly. Got a slider down and in. So the Bulls down to their last strike. Trailed 4-0 after 1/2 inning on Luken Baker's grand slam, and the Redbirds have not looked back. Bulls have had a couple of chances to get close in this one. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Zuniga's pitch strikes out Shenton, and the Redbirds have beaten the Bulls. 8-4 final. Adam Kloffenstein picks up his first career AAA win. First win in the Cardinals organization. And Luken Baker leads the way offensively for Memphis with his minor league leading 33rd home run a first-inning grand slam as the Redbirds beat the Bulls 8-4.
Well, that grand slam proved to be the difference for the Redbirds as they take this game 8-4. The Bulls showed some signs of life. Vidal Brujan had 3 hits. Nick Deeney had 2 and a run scored, but it wasn't to be enough. Tonight was Memphis's night, and they even the series against the Bulls.
All right, so your final score, Memphis 8, Durham 4. 5th game of the series comes up tomorrow night. Television airtime at 6:30. Radio pregame starts at 6:20. And the first pitch between Durham and Memphis at 6:35. So on the TV side, we will say good night. On the radio side, stick around. We'll have highlights, scores, and more when we return to Durham. Once again, our final score tonight, Memphis 8, Durham 4. Good night from the Bull City.